We are turning a classic French onion soup into a pasta dish that you are going to love. The French onion pasta is easy, it's simple, it's relatively quick to make, and it's always such a hit. It gives you all of those delicious flavors of French onion soup, but in a pasta form. And you know me, I love my carbs, I love my pasta, and I love this. It screams fall coziness. It screams that yummy, cozy vibe, and we're gonna get to it. So easy, all in one pot. We are not boiling the pasta separately. It kind of helps make it all creamy and delicious and very, very luxe. In a Dutch oven, you're gonna add some olive oil. Come on. I promise I own this. I promise I own this. Every time I can't get it to turn on. Anyway, French onion soup, lots of onions, right? Sort of the same thing. It's an onion-based soup. We are taking the exact same flavors of French onion soup, but marrying it with pasta and some cheese to create just like a one-pot wonder. If you want it to be a one-pot wonder and have some protein, you can go ahead and you can saute some ground chicken, some ground turkey, or even some ground beef at this point before adding your onions in. Then you really have a one-pot meal that you don't have to really stress that much about. But at this point, all I'm going to do is very thinly slice my onions. The onions are gonna take the longest to cook because you really want them caramelized, you really want them to cook down. So once I thinly slice them, I'm gonna go ahead and add them to my Dutch oven. Add your onions in. Beautiful. Woo! Onions overboard. And at this point, all I'm going to do is I'm gonna hit them with a pinch of salt. And I'm gonna let them cook over medium heat until they really break down, giving them a stir quite frequently because onions have a lot of sugar in them and you don't want them to sit in one place too long because it'll burn. So just keep an eye on them. It'll take, for where I want them to be, I think it's gonna take about 20 minutes. So I'll keep an eye out on the time and report back. My onions look gorgeous. Now, they're not at the tender caramelized spot that I would take them if I were making soup, but that takes a solid like 45 minutes to an hour to really caramelize them into like almost like a paste. We're not doing that. This is a weeknight friendly dinner that you need to put together when you don't have much time. So I'm adding some garlic, and I like to add just a touch of brown sugar, and all it does is it reinforces the sweetness of those onions. I do the same thing when I am making regular French onion soup. I find that it makes such a big difference, and I'm telling you, if I feel like it's important, you know it's gotta mean something, because if I can skip a step and if I can skip an ingredient, you know I do. No shame in my game. I'm just gonna go ahead and let that cook together for literally just a minute. Deglaze with a splash of wine. I think something acidic is kind of important to offset all of that really lovely richness. You can also do some sherry if you wanted to, or you could just leave it out altogether, but I think it makes a difference because you've got such sweetness and strong onion flavor that you just need a little something to kind of balance that. And now we add a mixture of beef stock and just a little bit of cream. Not much, just a tiny, tiny bit. And now I'm just gonna wait for this to come to a boil, but I'm gonna go ahead and add some fresh thyme. Just strip it right off the stem and just wait for this to come to a boil. My broth mixture is up to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and season it with some salt. I just tasted it, and let me just tell you something. It is already so good. It is unbelievable. I'm gonna go ahead and add my pasta. The pasta shape you use, it is entirely up to you. I love these little mezzi rigatoni. I just love the way that they look. They absorb flavor really well. The ridges mean that everything gets sort of stuck to them. Delicious. Add them right in, and then you're gonna go ahead and cook this until the pasta is nice and al dente. Oh yeah, look at that. Now that liquid will get absorbed as it sits for a few minutes, but this needs a couple more minutes of cooking. The pasta is still a little too al dente. I just tasted it, but I want to take this opportunity to go ahead and hit it with some cheese, some freshly grated Parm, pepper, lots of pepper. Beautiful, yeah. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this all together. Let it cook for like 2 minutes, then turn it off, put the lid on. My mouth is watering, and just let it sit for a few minutes, and it just absorbs that liquid also perfectly. It makes it, oh, I'm gonna add my parsley too. It makes it so good. I'm going to turn it off in a minute and let it sit. That looks incredible and it smells even better. It's been sitting for a few minutes. You wouldn't want to let it sit a little bit longer, but as the longer it sits, the more of that liquid it soaks up, and it is just perfection. I've already tasted it. It tastes incredible. My mouth is watering. It has all of the like bells and whistles of a delicious French onion soup. Trust me. When you serve it, definitely add more cheese to the table. Oh my gosh. You guys, that is so good. It's so hot. Hot. Worth scorching my mouth over. It is rich. It's delicious. That broth is dynamite. It's fantastic. And like I said, saute some ground beef, ground turkey, ground chicken, whatever your heart desires in the beginning of this whole thing, and you really have a one-pot wonder where you don't have to think about anything else. It's perfection. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. Hope you enjoy spending time with me. Please make this. It is a must make. You won't regret it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.